Okay then, we are just about in time still. So today, in our usual sort of weekend, let's not really have a plan sort of way, we are going to be starting a new playthrough of the old classic Kerbal space program. Because, why not, I guess. Another game I'm really bad at. You know, like all games, as anyone who has watched this channel in the past can attest. Always assuming it loads, of course. Guessing this might have updated since I last played it. That is a really happy Kerbal in the middle. There must exist like a minions mod for them or something that turns all of your Kerbals into. It looks so much like minions already, it's. Hey. Strutco, a company based entirely around strutting. Let's go with circles as our flag. The first things I'm actually going to remember to do this time is go to mission control. Yes. Recover or transfer any science experiment data. I think we can also accomplish this. Yep. So we are going to just build ourselves the basic rocket. Because, obviously, I guess. Nice, complicated thing here. That should do. Alright. Because this way we actually try and get a little bit of a better science boost, if you like, early. Get an observation on the launch pad. Pages. High enough to count? Okay. So for our first flight, we should actually have accomplished something legally useful, science-wise. I also keep forgetting that SAS is a thing, as the little capsule starts spinning wildly with abandon. Come on, flip the capsule back over. Please do not crush our astronaut immediately starting the game. Actually, I think it might flip back over once the parachute deploys properly. Should do any moment. Any moment. There we go. So, yes, that was our launch site. We've not gone very far horizontally. Have some world first. Or any credits. And we got some bonus credits for doing things. Hey. So we gathered some science. Gathering science. And we recovered things. Jebediah gained experience. Definitely going to need to upgrade the launch pad at some point, relatively soon. And probably the VAB. Now let's actually start getting some extra components that we can use. Parachutes, heat. Go that way. Start by adding a bunch of additional science-y business. That's it. Shift and coupling. Stick in just a bit of a bigger this time. Don't want that many barometers. In fact, we may have wanted to just have a quick check for wherever the hatch is. Possible I've done what I usually do for the hatch as well. Certainly going to want fin. Save that, because what we need to do is also check. Okay, so this is a thing I never quite worked out how to do properly, which was these focused observational surveys. We can get to 60,000 meters. And 59,000. So we can probably do these two relatively easy. Basically, we don't decouple the booster engine until What's that over there? Okay. So let's see if this can get us to 60,000 before we use liquid fuel. Let's get some science and enable SAS. Yeah, hey, that hammer's not making it. Okay, and it's not high enough yet then. Go to 20,000. Then observe the mystery goo. Hey, that got us some data. Okay, so we should at least make one of our contracts this time. It's as if it was in a vacuum. What a surprise, this whole being in space thing. You have to be very careful with the wall. At least I've always found that is the case. Oh yeah, we can eject that whole thing. And the atmosphere should slow us down a little bit. Hopefully enough that we can parachute. And then the parachute should slow us down the rest of the way. There we go. Happy Jebediah down in the corner. Flapping away. We've got a bit more science and some more money. So, that is what we. Oh, the science junior experiment storage. They're both useful. The crew cabin useful as well. I mean, we probably want stability. Stability just seems like a good idea. I love some of the descriptions of these components as well. How do we store 4 Kerbals on orbit without any provisions for return? Who needed this remains a mystery as to his motivations. Thinking possibly the basic science, that at least gives us some more things to get science with. Or even with which to get science. We need to get the hammer into 59,000 meters. Oh, there's actually a speed requirement on this as well. 140 to 280. At 60,000 meters. Okay, that's... yeah, sure, perfectly doable. Thumper. I mean, I guess we could technically do something of that general nature. Coupling. I mean, this is probably going to go quite high. But that's okay, because what we can always do a bit heavier, but also a bit more likely to survive and be useful for stability purposes. To do something sensible with these. Excellent. We actually have better fuel tanks now as well, so we... the mass is very slightly over. That's fine. We've got some money. So we'll do that. And now everything is okay. Okay then. So, is there anything else we... ooh, sciencey thing. So, we've actually mostly got everything we need from those now. We could have a couple of science juniors. That doesn't seem at all problematic. Okay. I see no problems that could possibly arise from this ship. Honestly not sure what RC. Okay. So, a hammer we want at 59,000 meters with a speed of 130 meters a second. So, honestly, we're probably almost ready to do vaguely orbital things at this point. Okay. I'm going to activate that booster. Just as a way of, you know, getting us that little bit of extra push. Probably be observing this materials bay as well. Okay, now we see if this is going to actually let us get far enough. I don't think it is. Which is the part where you learn that I also don't know how to control the vessel. So we might just about make it at this rate. Not quite. Curses. Let's just scatter those across everything. Fine. Let's get some more height back in. Or altitude, I guess. Let's pretend I know what I'm doing and pretend that I said altitude in the first place. Might still be able to do one of these missions. So, I mean, we're probably going to have to try and do it on the way back down. But, no? Collect all of the data. There we go. We'll sneakily pick up that contract. We can use the last of our liquid fuel there just to help decelerate on re-entry. Parachute. And there we go. Yep. Almost yet another perfectly safe landing. It did destroy one of our science students. But we can cope with it. Still need to try and get enough money to upgrade the VAB. I reckon we can probably take that challenge on now. Particularly if we do that research. So, let's first of all get some serious fuel tanks in. Then we can put in a little tiny one of them. Actually, two. Off. Then we'll stick in some more fuel tanks. Swivel or the Reliant? Is the Reliant is the particular. Just gonna thrust limit that one a little bit because it's stupid. Oh, apparently we have two decouplers. That does not seem useful. Okay, decouple engine, decouple engine. Then we want the radial decouple. Just use these hammer boosters again. Try and actually get them lined up on the decouplers. Some aerodynamic winglet. Codes. also spin the thing so it's pointing in the right direction. That does create too many parts. Fine. I can't remember which way the arrows are supposed to go on the decouplers. The other way. No? Okay, it was the right way around. First place. When it says the side that would attach, it means the side that's going to stick around. Let's see if we can do this whole orbiting business, shall we? Okay, we have quite a lot of fuel. We're probably going to be okay. Except that the ship is so heavy that it can't handle it without turning up the engine power. Well, this is not going to go well, is it? Stop all of the engines. This is the part where I generally really struggle. I'm not sure if that was obvious. I mean, if we just deploy that parachute now. Then, you know, we can try and just recover the entire craft. That would be a thing. Actually. Just recover what science we can. Okay. So that was a bit explodey. Let's try doing it slightly differently this time. By slightly, I mean let's not worry about that mission that we want to try and do. Yeah, definitely needs to be a... more powerful engine. Try putting parachutes on all the detachable components, so we can try and save them all up again later. Come on. I mean, this is clearly not going to work. On stable. Yeah. Got plenty of fuel. At least for right now we do anyway. And I just want to get this to about 80,000 and then start pushing the orbit around a little bit. See how that goes. Still got lots of fuel. That is good news. Okay. Come on. Just get the orbit a little bit further. That's the milestone. And distance record of 100 kilometers. All the more impressive because we are not on land. Okay. So now, just wait a little bit. And then push the periapsis point out. And achieve orbit. Everything should be fine. Okay. So the next question is, can we get any useful or interesting scientific data from it? Yes. Yes, we can. Not so much from that. Or that one. Actually, no. I want to... So what I would generally try and do at this point is go for like the ridiculously elliptical orbit, because it's a lot easier to push out one side of the orbit to hit deep space reading, and then keep the periapsis close so you can easily bring it back again. Ooh. Nope, too far, too far. Come back this way. Get a bit of burn on. Push that out to about 500. Should get us some new and interesting science at least. Oh, we've actually still got quite a lot of fuel. This is the thing, is we don't need that much fuel to bring the periapsis in enough that we can deorbit. We should be reaching. Okay. The goo feels at home. We've brought the goo home, everyone. Mission accomplished. Now we can save some amount of fuel. Just trying to avoid burning the ship into tiny, tiny fragments on the way back in. Okay, we're still quite deep. We don't want to be pointing prograde, do we? We want to be pointing retrograde, because retrograde means up in this instance. And we are, after all, trying to brake. We'll see how well it actually works in a moment, I suppose. Very glad that we did store all of the science data, though. That was definitely a smart thing. Okay, we're out of fuel, so let's jettison off that engine. Thankfully, we do seem to have slowed down a reasonable amount now. So, we might even be able to land safely. See how this is going to go, if we can get the parachute. Now it's just the old waiting game. I mean, it looks pretty good. We're not going too fast. Altitude's coming down roughly at the right sort of time to deploy the chute and not explode. We have splashed into the ocean. I disagree. I think we're still about 5 kilometres above the surface of Kerbal. But, you know, there's differences of opinion, I guess. There we go. Capsule's the right way up. Speed is sensible. Jebediah is starting to feel slightly ill from how much spinning it's doing. There we go. Proper splash. Everyone survives. It's all good. Only 100 science. Got any more recoverable debris? Recover that debris. So, we got some science. We got some money. These are both very good things. So, ooh, electrics will get us photovoltaic panels. Still gonna have 80 left, so we can get probably general construction. From Propodobadine. Fuel system. Big old fuel tanks. So the thing I like about electrics is we've proved we can get to orbit. So if we stick some photovoltaic panels even on an unmanned craft. It's the okay. Okay, and we've also got stability control. So that seems like it could be good. Let's research that and general construction. And upgrade the VAB. And now we can build bigger things. Oh, wow, that has actually made the VAB a lot bigger. Hi. So first we're going to save this untitled spacecraft, as it is our first orbit. And then we're going to create a new... that's not very large, is it? I guess actually there's an argument. We reload this one. We're going to need some kind of adapter business. That's not a useful adapter. Fine. We also want a service. Because what we can do is we can stick some... So what do you provide? So this actually does provide more electric charge. So maybe we don't want the service bay. Maybe the service bay is just a waste of our time. So we can now have, 140 tons and 255 parts. So we can afford to... you know, we can afford to put a few extra parts on there. So that should keep the power going anyway. You would hope. Engines, we're going to stick a couple... Whoa, that's far too many. Stick a couple of these big old backs on. Because that's going to give it a bit of kick. I'm actually going to stick a nose cone up there on the top as well. And we'll just pretend that those are all big enough. Can do is stick some radiators in there. Try and keep that going. I'm now just really curious to see if this is even going to work. Because I've never tried this before in any game. So, I mean, firstly, no it isn't. Because I did a dumb. Really, those already worked out that the thrust limiter has to be about. It's really slowly going to rotate. I should probably actually throttle up as well. Anybody who was paying close attention there is going to realise that during vehicle assembly I did forget one important part. Probably this one. Also, probably don't put that actually on a radiator. And even while I was there thinking about it, I forgot to spin the ship again, so it's pointing in the right direction. And now we get the fun part, because of the way I've built this, of actually grab the thing. So the theory is that if this gets into orbit, we can stick it in some ridiculous orbit. The solar panels will keep the batteries charged as much as they can, and we can use it to just beam science to places, which would seem to be ideal. So how many things just immediately exploded? No stability assist. You're supposed to be, like, not doing exactly the thing you're doing. So we seem to have an interesting thing where those engines have not left the craft yet. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just do it that way then. I'd like to actually at least rotate it so it's a sane direction for trying to control. Try and hold it up till we get at least something approximating an orbit. Oh, come on. Did none of these decouplers decouple anything? I'm going to have to go back to the vehicle assembly, I think, and have a look at this, because this is strange. Also, I guess we have been going for an hour, so I might do is call that there for now. We can have another look at this tomorrow. Hello. Thank you all for joining me, and I will catch everybody again tomorrow.